it's important to ask one primary question, which is, how can I benefit from AI? You need to ask it in a selfish manner to be able to do the things that align with your purpose and that are important to you. If there's 5 managers or people in your role and only one of you knows how to use AI to really benefit the company, guess who's going to get promoted next?
The 4 largest tech companies in the United States leading advances in AI earned nearly $268 billion.
Both Amazon and Microsoft exceeding analyst estimates on both the top line and the bottom line.
But these profits have come at the cost of the dismissal of hundreds of thousands of workers who generally belong to the so-called middle class.
Despite reporting better than expected quarterly results, tech giant Microsoft announced it will be laying off roughly 6,000 employees.
Although advances in artificial intelligence promise gains in productivity, efficiency, and cost reduction, people who lose their jobs also lose the opportunity to move up the socioeconomic ladder.
So I'm curious for you, what's your reaction when you hear this? When you hear about some of the largest companies in the world making record profits, laying off thousands of people, partly because of AI? What's your reaction? Now, no matter which way you look at it, I think it's important to ask one primary question, which is, how can I benefit from AI? Which is, how can I benefit my family from AI? Like it or not, AI is here. AI is replacing jobs. AI will continue to replace jobs. And if you do not get on the train, you will get left behind. It's just a reality of it. And think about it. Whether you're an employee and you manage people, or whether you're an entrepreneur, if you're working your tail off to produce profits in your business, in your company, right? And you have the opportunity to save. Here's an example. Let's say you're an entrepreneur. You created a business that's doing $5 million a year in revenue, right? And you get a 20% profit margin, $1 million in profit, right? You pay 40% in taxes, you're left with $600,000 in profit. And then let's say you got to leave 30% in your business for cash flow, right? You can't just take all the profit out of your company. You need to have money in there for the rolling and floating expenses. So great, now you're left with $300,000 that you actually pay yourself after taking all of this risk, putting up all of this money, working your tail off. So if you have the opportunity to potentially increase your profit margins by 5% by leveraging and using AI instead of hiring people, tell me you're not going to do it. You are, 100%. And so we've got to be able to figure out how we can use this to our advantage. And if you're someone who you are working for someone else and you're scared of getting laid off with AI, you've got to put yourself in a position to be able to use AI to your advantage. I'll talk about that more in just a second, but let's keep watching.
Tech companies like Meta, Google, and Amazon have been laying off a staggering amount of workers, tens of thousands of people.
The problem is that with the elimination of these jobs, the gap between the rich and the poor is growing increasingly wider.
The digital revolution creates enormous wealth for those with the skills and preparation to take advantage.
Did you hear that? It creates enormous wealth for the people with the skills and preparation to take advantage. So if there's one thing that I got out of this video and that you should take from this video is to prepare. It's to prepare. Teach AI about you, your background, your skill sets, where you went to school or where you didn't go to school, what jobs you've held, what you did, what job you have now, and ask it, how can I use you to my advantage? How can I use you to get to this level of income, this level of success, this level of contribution? And when I say, how can I benefit from AI? Yes, you need to ask it in a selfish manner to be able to do the things that align with your purpose and that are important to you. If it's important to you to be able to give back and to contribute to the world, well, how do you use AI to your benefit to be able to do that? Right now, we're hiring for a role in our business and at Franchise Empire, and we've gotten hundreds of applications. We had to pause the job because it's a remote job. You just get so many applications. Anyone who doesn't have something about AI on their resume and using it and leveraging it and learning about it, they're out. They're out. We need someone who can step in, plug and play, and be able to utilize AI to help create efficiency, right? And if you're not using it, you will wind up getting left behind.
Eliminates what economists call middle skill jobs.
Whereas in the past, workers had bargaining power due to their essential role in production, today that power is diminished in the face of machines that operate without salaries, demands, or interruptions. So, how artificial intelligence is replacing middle-class careers? The rise of artificial intelligence has ushered in a new technological era that promises significant productivity gains, cost reductions, and transformative efficiencies across all sectors.
Guys, think about it. AI doesn't call out sick, right? AI doesn't call out sick. AI doesn't have personal issues that come up. It produces no matter what.
However, behind these promises lies a growing economic concern. AI is accelerating a structural shift in the U.S. labor market that threatens the stability and very existence of the middle class. Historically, the middle class has been the backbone of the U.S. economy, sustained by a broad base of white-collar jobs in sectors such as finance, education, and law.
That's why the people who are the most protected and insulated are not the people who are in white-collar jobs. It's blue-collar, right? I mean, if you're a plumber, electrician, you're someone in the trades, you're much more insulated, than a white-collar job. So one of the best things, especially if you're a young person watching this video, is learn a trade, right? Learn a trade, and you'll be able to protect yourself from getting replaced. And this is why we have people every day at Franchise Empire that are reaching out saying, "Hey, I'm thinking about owning a franchise because I'm scared that I'm going to get laid off. My company's been laying off people, and I don't know if I'm going to be next." There's no job security now in white collar jobs. There's no job security anymore. It doesn't exist. The whole idea of go get a job and it'll be secure and safe. I believe what's much more secure and safe is starting your own business, because you get to control your fate. No one can fire you when you're the entrepreneur and you're the business owner, right? So one way to get ahead is to start building a side hustle now. Start a business now in preparation for if something happens. And that way you've already got momentum going. We had a client actually that he sent me an email recently. Him and his wife bought a franchise. They actually bought a senior care franchise, and where they have caregivers that go into seniors' homes and help take care of them. And he sent me an email letting me know that his company had been laying off a bunch of people, and he was in IT because of AI, and that he was actually referring us to someone who was scared that they were about to be laid off and wanted to start looking into franchising. And I'd sent it over to our team, just like, wow, this is crazy, huh? Someone on our team pointed out that, wow, he could have been one of the people that was getting laid off. And I was like, wow, I didn't even think about that. But you've got to get ahead of the curve. And hey, a great business idea and great business opportunity would be learn the different AI platforms and become an AI consultant, right? Start a business where you're teaching small business owners who don't want to learn all of it, where you learn the different platforms and you're able to go in and teach them how to use AI in their business, and you help them implement it. I mean, they'll be powerful.
Automation of traditional tasks performed by mid-skilled professionals is severely affecting the American middle class.
Computer software and industrial machines now fill roles from clerical tasks to routine manufacturing that once produced middle-class incomes for workers without college degrees.
At the same time, wealth is increasingly concentrated in a small elite that owns AI companies. Although much of the public attention has focused on how automation threatens blue-collar manufacturing jobs, a quieter revolution is unfolding in white-collar sectors. In fields that were traditionally considered immune to automation, such as law, journalism, and finance, AI is already displacing workers. For example, AI tools are being used by law firms to draft legal documents, by newsrooms to generate content.
Not just law firms, guys. They're being used by companies. We had to draft some documents, some legal documents and policy documents, and we used AI to do it. And I have an attorney on retainer, and I have a legal insurance where I can get them to put together documents. But okay, great. I've got to reach out to them. I've got to get on their calendar. I've got to wait a few days or a week, and then I have to have the meeting explaining what our needs are. All I did was go into AI. Hey, create this sort of document for me. Boom, it creates it. Within 10 seconds. it's scary, it's terrifying, and it's exciting all at the same time, which again goes back to the question, how can you benefit from AI? No matter where you are, whether you're working for someone, whether you're still in school, or whether you're an entrepreneur, or whether you're looking to start a business, start teaching AI about yourself. I just got back from this business conference with a bunch of entrepreneurs, and there was this guy that I was sitting next to, and he's in his late 50s, and he was talking about, hey, are you using AI as a strategic leader in your business? And I was like, no. Interesting. He's like, you need to teach it all about your business and have it create an action plan and a strategic plan for your business and run everything through AI. And I was like, interesting. And I've got to say, I've been guilty of this myself, of me personally not utilizing and learning to use AI as much as I can. I know our team members do, and we're only going to continue to hire more people in key roles that have experience using AI or that are adopting it. So if you don't, you are going to get left behind. I know I already said that already, but it's important.
And by corporations to replace customer service agents. A 2024 McKinsey report estimated that between 15 and 30% of working hours in white-collar jobs could be automated by 2030. But what is most concerning is the impact on careers that have traditionally defined the American middle class.
Artificial intelligence is advancing at breakneck speed, and the CEO of an AI firm just warned businesses and politicians that they
I didn't even realize Whoopi Goldberg was still around. I don't watch TV, so
shouldn't sugarcoat the impact that this is going to have on the workforce.
Being a teacher, accountant, copywriter, or financial analyst used to be seen as a stable path to a life of decent income, benefits, and social mobility. Today, many of those occupations are under threat from AI systems that perform tasks faster, at lower cost, and often with fewer errors. Accounting, for instance, is being transformed by platforms that use AI to process and audit financial data, reducing the need for human accounting staff. In journalism, media companies like the Associated Press have adopted automatic article generation for financial and sports coverage. In education, platforms like Khan Academy and AI-powered tutoring services are beginning to replace part of the teacher's role, especially.
Guys, it's going to continue to happen. I mean, there's no fighting it, right? Do not fight the tide. Whenever you go to the ocean, you'll see that there's signs about riptides, right? And the way that people wind up drowning with riptides is that as it starts to pull them out, they try to fight the tide and they try to swim against it, and you're never gonna beat it. It tires them out, and they'll wind up drowning. And the way that they say to make it through riptide is to let it pull you out and then swim parallel to the shore. So you let it take you out. And so if you try to fight the tide with AI and what the jobs that AI is replacing, then the consequences will be devastating for you. The question is, how do you roll with the tide and use it to your advantage? As an example, we were just recording some content for our Franchise Empire YouTube channel, and we do these breakdown videos of the most popular franchises that you drive by and see every day, and talk about how much money they're making, how much money the franchise owners are making, the startup cost, and we use AI to put together the frameworks of those videos and pull together all the information. It probably takes 30 minutes per video with AI. It would take probably 5 to 10 hours without AI. It saves a tremendous amount of time, right? So it's not that we would not have a person in place to help, gather all of that information, but they're able to produce even more, right? They're able to have the impact of multiple people by leveraging it. But AI isn't going to continue to replace more jobs. Question is, how can you use it to your advantage? I'm going to keep saying that throughout the whole video. Repetition is the mother of learning. How can you use it to your advantage?
In individualized tutoring. Even in programming, tools like GitHub Copilot are drastically reducing the need for junior developers by automatically generating blocks of code. Moreover, these tools are replacing traditional occupations at an unprecedented speed. What was once a clearly defined career path, progressing from roles like accounting assistant to senior accountant or from junior reporter to editor, is now disappearing. AI not only automates specific tasks, but also redraws the full scope of certain jobs.
Let's talk about how AI is transforming the legal industry. Many of these tools are so powerful that big law firms are actually restructuring their workflows just to integrate them.
In the legal industry, assistants and paralegals are being replaced by platforms that not only draft contracts, but also perform case law analysis. In finance, analysts are being replaced by algorithms capable of scanning and evaluating market trends in real time. In design, new generative tools allow anyone to create professional quality images without prior training, drastically reducing demand for skilled graphic designers. This replacement of entire job functions is causing traditional middle-class careers to lose their structural value. It is no longer about learning a discipline and practicing it for decades, but about constantly adapting to a market in which technical knowledge can become obsolete within months. As a result, the stability offered by these professions, predictable income, health insurance, the ability to buy a house and educate one's children, is crumbling.
That's a key point right there. The security of steady income and benefits in some professions is fading. So it goes back to the point that we've been making this whole time. You've got to look after yourself. This is one of those moments where they talk about on the plane, put the oxygen mask on yourself first. You've got to CYA, cover your ass, and figure out how can you take care of yourself and your family and put yourself in the best position to succeed, because the idea of a safe job doesn't exist anymore. And this is not just from a career standpoint and lose your job standpoint. For entrepreneurs, if you're not using AI and you're not hiring people who know how to use AI, your business is going to get left behind. You're going to have people that are going to be able to catch up to you at a clip that was not possible before, because they'll be able to use AI. And so at the end of the day, I think the takeaway, in this video is really figure out a way to use AI to your advantage, right? If you are someone that works for a company, figure out how you can use AI in your role to become even more effective, and let your employer know that you're using it and how you're using it to become even more effective than your counterparts. Because what's going to happen if there's 5 managers or people in your role and only one of you knows how to use AI to really benefit the company? Guess who's going to get promoted next, right? It's going to be you. And as someone who's hiring people, you're going to have the competitive advantage by hiring people who know how to use AI. And at the end of the day, one of the best ways to protect yourself is to go out and start a business. Go start a business and make sure that if, God forbid, you wind up getting laid off or your job winds up getting replaced, that you have something to fall back on, right? And my belief is I was able to get free from corporate America by owning franchises initially. I think it's one of the best ways to not have to know how to run a business or have all the blueprints or the plans, but to be able to step into something that has already been created that you just need to execute on. So anyways, if you like this style of video, we're going to continue to do more of these reaction videos about what's happening in the world right now, what's happening in the economy, what's happening in the job market, what's happening in business, and being able to get insights that you can use to benefit yourself. Then hit subscribe, because that's all about what these videos are for. How can you improve your results in your life? See you soon.